Hey Geoff, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, Clive. The weather's good here. It's nice and sunny. It's hot. It's fantastic. I'm loving it. I'm loving it, man.
It makes a change in it because sometimes we get our 4 seasons in one day.
I'm telling you, man.
It's amazing how we got this lovely sunshine, and yet in other parts of Europe, other people are struggling from the damage from the torrential rains. I just heard the other day, 2 months of rain in 2 days, and we can see the devastation in Germany and Belgium and those places. Hearts and prayers are with those people there. So Geoff, listen, this week, you're going to be talking to me about a specific role that I've recently taken on.
Most definitely, Clive. And just before we do that, I couldn't agree with you more. Our hearts go out to what's happening in Germany, in Europe, and for people that are sort of suffering devastation. And we just thank God, as usual, that His mercies have been with us. And today we're going to talk about you, Clive, and we know that particularly for Annette B, who we've been playing for a while now. You are the MD, and I believe that we've not spoken to any MDs on this program or on this platform at all. So that's going to be a really interesting conversation.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've actually ever MD'd myself. So
you have. Okay. So you've been in the hot seat, Geoff.
I am, man, and all the hot questions are coming your way, mate. So I want to know exactly what this is all about. So, without further ado, Clive, just tell us a little bit about how you actually were actually asked to MD for Annette B, and it rhymes. Maybe I should make a song about this.
Okay, so Annette contacted me to help with her album launch, her recent album launch on the recent album I'm Free. And so I had a conversation with her, and it's one of those things where God just intervenes. During the conversation, I felt the need. I felt that the question was coming, but I wasn't sure how and when. And so I think we had broke the conversation. I accepted the offer to help her and play bass for the album launch. And so then I think a few minutes later, got a call back. I think she spoke with D Shy. I'm not sure. I think she spoke with D Shy or something like that. And then it was suggested, or it came back, that I should be her MD. And at the time I was actually feeling that in my spirit, but I wasn't sure how it was going to come about. And you don't want to sort of push yourself into these things. So it's a position that I have been under lots of MDs, but never actually been in the role myself. Never actually. I put it this way: it would have been a role I would have shied away from at a point. But for some reason, when Annette asked me and approached me, I felt that it was the right thing and it was the right time, and this was the right ministry as well to get involved in. And at first, I sort of thought afterwards, after I accepted both to support with the album launch and then to also come on board as MD for the album launch, I sort of afterwards I thought, what have I just done? That was the question I actually said to myself. What have I just done? I said, I don't know any of the team but Annette. Never worked or met any of the team but Annette, And so the first time when I arrived at rehearsals, all what was going through my mind was, will they accept me? Seriously, honestly, that's what was going through my mind. Will they accept me? And I was walking into that rehearsal thinking, I've got to take charge. I've got to take control of this rehearsal. Yeah. I don't know any of the team. And then I'm saying, will they accept me? And it was one of those moments where you just say, Lord, grant me wisdom, just like Solomon, to deal with your servants, you know, because I had to be respectful of everybody's contribution over the past, before I turned up, and their ongoing contribution and their willingness to serve. I had to respect that and acknowledge that first, you know, and I think coming in with that mindset, that kind of helped me to sort of find my footing, as to say, within the team. But I have to say, I love being a team. It's, yeah, I'm so thankful to God for the opportunity.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So what do you think, actually, Clive? Then, I mean, obviously you've done the role for well on probably near on 2 years, I think, since we've been kind of playing. What are the sort of qualities then that you think you should have as an MD, and what particularly drives you to sort of say, well, okay, this is what I'm hoping to achieve, or what I'm trying to get out of this? What are your expectations? What are your objectives? Where are you going with this?
Okay, so I kind of see myself as I've always seen myself as a team player. My day job, the skill set from my day job actually lends itself well to being an MD, and I think I carry a lot of that over into the role. You guys wouldn't know, but basically my job as a team leader for a very large vehicle manufacturing firm, and having several inspectors that I have to look after, vehicle inspectors that I have to go over a very large area, and that involves training and so forth. So when it comes to the musical side now, being an MD, one of the things that I look at is the ability of the individual, the ability to hold down their role in terms of what they are asked to contribute to the track. So if you're a keyboard player, you know, and that might be, you know, that when you say keyboard player, you know, that obviously covers various roles. But if I say specifically Hammond, okay, I would like you to cover the Hammonds, you know. So I then now look at, if I need a Hammond player, I'm going to look at which one is the strongest out of the 2 or 3 keyboard players, you know. And then I would also approach that person and ask them, are you comfortable? Because though they may be the strongest one, they may not feel comfortable with it. So now I've got to coach them to make them understand they actually possess something that will contribute towards the ministry and the music, even though they may not feel it. There are times when I ask people to do jobs at work, they may not feel it. And the way I ask them to do it, they may not understand it, they may not see it. So now I have to train them and coach them and make them feel comfortable and bring them into that reality to show them that what I'm asking you to contribute, you are really the best person for that. So it's like bringing out the best in the individuals as well. I know I'm sort of diversing, but as you're asking the questions, there's a lot actually coming up in me, actually. I see the role really as a challenge as well for me. I think it helps me to grow. Somebody actually last week, one of our newest members, very wise man actually, he put, one of the questions he put to me was, how do you handle conflict, you know, within a team or within a group, you know? And I have to say this, you know, my day job, I've had lots and lots of conflict, and how I resolve them as resulting in people actually willingly wanting to be on my team, or would rather me be a team leader, you know, and I find that quite endearing, really. So I'm hoping to aspire to being a musical director that, one, will bring the best, recognize the best
Yeah.
in individuals.
Yeah.
And then secondly, knowing how to bring out the best and allowing them to see how good and how well their musicianship is appreciated, welcomed, and needed as a part of the team. So, you know, I understand people will be at different levels, and I've had the opportunity of playing with people at different levels, and I kind of bring myself down. There are some that have been, you know, their levels have been more than mine, their skill set have been more than mine, but they accommodate me, you know. So now I want to accommodate individuals as well, but also bring out the best in everybody in the team. That's not just musicians, that's also the singers. Even though, you know, I don't really sing, but that's the whole team, really, you know.
You know, that raised some very, very good points, and I think it's great that you make this kind of assimilation between kind of, you know, what happens sort of in, you know, maybe sort of our day-to-day role, and bring that, because you know, we know that God gives us very skills and abilities, and we're able to sort of, use those skills and ability in any organization, in any workplace, or any environment that, you know, the Lord allows us to, and they become sort of our things. Just asking you this question, and it's just something that you pointed to. It's about kind of identifying, you know, what people can do. I mean, surely as part of the role of an MD, you must have, if you like, sort of a certain kind of idea or notion of how you want the music to sound, or how
I do actually. I do. And the thing is, right, the thing is, okay, so as you know, I've made some changes to the band. So we now have a new bass player, Brother Patrick Hepburn, and an additional keyboard player, Pastor Ronnie Francis. And so I will be joining you on guitars. Now, the reason for that is because a lot of the music that I write is guitar focused and guitar driven. And so when I put a track together, it may have a lead and a rhythm, or two strums sort of crossing over each other. It's quite hard to explain. But for instance, the theme track, it's not polished, but when people hear the theme track to Behind the Music, okay, that's one of the tracks. So it starts with like an Afro kind of jazz thing, African type of jazz type of thing. That's 3 guitars. So that's going to give you an idea of why I've changed the band, and I want a stronger rhythm section. Because for me, one of the things that I want to achieve, especially for Annette, is that when people hear her album, so when they hear us live, they must hear the exact replication and presentation of that track. And filling out the rhythm section, because a lot of her tracks is not just straight reggae. She's got jungle tracks. She's got some classic old school reggae lines, B-line tracks in there as well, and some modern things and some twists. You notice the Keep It Like It Is, there's 2 versions. There's the original, bordering on the original, but then there's a producer's cut as well. But what's involved in those is a lot of synths and piano, Hammond, and guitar work. And what I don't want is to tax musicians. I want people to be free to also hold down their roles. But when we're live, feel free to also elaborate a little bit on that as well. Now, if you've got one keyboard player tied down to 3 keyboard parts, can't do that. You can't do that. So the thing is to get the track down exact, before we elaborate. And that's what I want to experiment with. Let's get the tracks down exact, play them exact in rehearsals, and then let's see how we can switch them up for a live feel. And that's why we've got the extra guys on the rhythm section. I know in Annette's heart, she would also love to have live brass. So in time to come, God willing, you know, the brass men are there. You know, God has got the brass men on the planet. They're on planet Earth. We just got to wait until God is ready to bring them or make our paths cross. You know, I wouldn't say it wouldn't happen. So for the time being, you know, we're going to have to try and make sure the keyboard brass is as authentic and as live sounding as possible, you know. So that might mean tweaking some patches and adding some layers and so forth, you know, but we'll get there. I'm excited about rehearsals because having these extra guys in that rhythm section, man, that's what I'm just a rhythm section. Oh my days.
And listen, I know that you've got a track actually that you wanted to play today, that's interesting, and we'll have a listen to that. And again, just to sort of say to our listeners, it wasn't because we wanted to kind of sort of say this is what we want to do, but it was just an example of listening to sort of how things are actually put together with just a very different feel around them. So, Clive, I don't know if you've got that track ready and we could go for that.
This is
about that track.
Yeah, this track is by Jermaine Edwards and it's called Jesus First. Now, it is a reggae track, but it's slightly with a twist. It's got a funky feel to it as well. And it's very, very fresh, I would say. And it's just, it's kind of typical of what comes from the Caribbean in terms of reggae worship. But this particular track to me is very, very different. Let's play that track.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, I live by faith and not by sight. Not every day, everything is alright. But I believe in Jesus Christ. You want the battle, so no need to fight. Have you ever heard about a man named Job? He did no sins, but he lost on his own. Job believed in Jesus Christ. The first thing he did was bow and worship on the floor. Oh yeah, Jesus first, everything come after. No money, no car, it's Jesus come after. Jesus first, everything come after. I'm nothing if I don't have you, Father. Jesus first, everything come after. No money, no car, it's Jesus come after. Jesus first, everything come after. I'm nothing if I don't have you, Father. We're just strangers passing through this land. My job is not my source, I don't depend on man. Things may look shaky now, but the word is my love. I choose right and not wrong. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Oh no, Lord, and they'll never let go. Turn off the fire just a little bit more. Fourth person in the corner of the Holy Ghost. Yeah, Jesus first, everything come after. No money, no car, Jesus come after. Jesus first, everything come after. I'm nothing if I don't tell you. Oh, Jesus first, everything come after. Jesus first, everything come after. I'm nothing if I don't tell you. So when I need to change my job, cause I need more money, first thing I ask. Need a higher education, got to choose an institution, first thing I ask. You need to get married, got to choose the right person, first thing you ask.
That is just a fantastic track, a really, really nice vibe to that as well, you know. So
I actually faded. I had to cut that because what it is, there's another track. The thing is, right, with that track, now what's interesting about that track, That is typical me. Now, if you listen to that track and study that track good, there is an acoustic guitar washing in the background.
Yeah.
With a classic reggae chop that is like a dub plate chop, like where you mute the string on the back, yeah?
Yeah.
The bass player is not holding down your regular sort of like airy, spacey reggae bass moves, right? He's frilling, he's and the tone as well. You know, this guy is sliding and he's dropping some, and he's, you know, he's almost like, if you listen to the intro, he's almost soloing on the intro there, you know, with some little frills. And then with the keys, you don't typically hear your traditional reggae bang. You've got some synths in there that you normally hear in like common worship tracks by, like, you know, the English guys and that, you know, like Matt Redman and those guys, you know. So this particular track, yeah, this is what I mean by thinking outside of the box. And I want to do something creative and different like this with the light band, but also sticking to some traditional sounds as well. Now, I like my ska and I like my rock steady, yeah. And those, you know, those people that are listening know, if you grew up in a typical Pentecostal church, right? And back in the day, in the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, there was a lot of guitars and not really any keyboards. You might have one keyboard. Sometimes you might even have an upright piano where they just drop the mic through the top, you know? But the focus was on the guitar. Now, one thing, a flavor they actually carried from the Caribbean into early gospel music that we know in the UK was the right? And now that's actually that's a rock steady sort of draw, yeah. Something that just happened in Jamaica where the Scatterlights had just blown up. These guys were jazz musicians, and basically they fused jazz with reggae. When it hit, nobody knew really what they were listening to. So hence ska. The Scatterlights name shortened because these guys came with something completely different, which nobody knew. What is it? But a lot of people don't realize how it influenced their music. So in church now, if you listen to ska and rock steady, that's where you hear that particular strumming. Right. Now listen to this track. This is a track by another gospel reggae artist called Troy Anthony, who uses that old time feel and sound, but it's got a modern mix. So let's listen to Troy Anthony. This track is called Money Can't Buy Lord. Geoff, if I get up and start dancing, man.
This money down to my mothers and fathers, raising up their little boys and girls. I know sometimes it can get confusing, even in this corrupting world. You try your best, but then your best not work. You give your life, but it's still not work. So no matter how you try, it's still not the work right. Yes, you've done all you can, but still you don't understand why things are happening this way. Love is what they want, love is what they need. Just give them your love, what's the use them achieve? The money can't buy them love, money's not everything. Just show them your love, what's the joy that love brings? Guide up to you in the way that they should go, so when they're old they will never depart. We have to teach them the right way.
Yeah, man.
Teach them to put Christ first. The badges will have to return.
Right now, You hear the guitars in that?
Yeah, man.
It's a totally different type of drawl. Now you've got two guitars in there. You've got one picking, and you've got one doing the classic rock steady one drawl. Yeah. And the way the bass moves is almost behind the beat because it's jazz influenced. And if you're gonna sing to that, you're almost gotta be like Frank Sinatra. You almost got to prove. You don't sing on the beat. You kind of sing off, in front, or behind. You don't sing on the beat. And the way the drummer, that's a skill set there. I mean, I love that stuff. I love that stuff. So that's a very old reggae style, yeah? But it's got a modern mix and a modern twist. So these are the things that I would like to achieve as an MD. Come up with, something new, something different, and don't be afraid to experiment, but encourage the members of the team as well to participate. And, I remember somebody once said to me, the owner of Studio One, I can't remember his name now, Byron Lee, okay? Someone once said to me, Byron Lee, never really knew how or where a track was going to go sometimes. And he would often say to the musicians, just bear with me. Just bear with me, gentlemen. Just bear with me. Just bear with me. And I think that's what I would ask, the light band, the team. There may be times where you might think, well, that kind of work. Just bear with me. Trust me. Just bear with me. You know what I mean? Because go on, Geoff, go on.
I was going to say, so obviously that's really, really interesting, kind of, for that role of kind of sort of MD and sort of, again, having that kind of vibe that like, I may have the position, but we're working together as a team to get a corporate finish on something together. We're working towards the same goal, kind of thing. So that's fantastic. Just want to know very much the challenge that you face as an MD when you're doing stuff live, and how you're actually coordinating that kind of stuff in a live setting when you're out there on stage. How does the MD deal with that?
Oh man, that's as long as the stage is set up right, and I've got my MD mic on, it's just being attentive to everything. You got to be alert, got to be concentrating. I mean, you might have a set role, as in, well, not role, I mean a set list, as in what songs are, but things can switch up. And very quickly, and so I have to be attentive to Annette, and sometimes the list goes out the window. I can tell by in between songs when she's talking. I've learned to anticipate and identify which song is coming next. So I have to then tell the guys, be ready, this may be coming next, we may be going off the list, and things like that. So it's being alert, listening, being attentive, being aware, and making sure everybody's comfortable as well, as well. Like I said, I mean, this is my first time, and I'm still learning, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
That's really great to know, and it's a fantastic thing to end on. I guess that we're all in this together, and we sink and we swim together. But it's nice to know that when somebody, and I've worked under several MDs, and I couldn't agree with you more. An MD that gets my respect very much is one who kind of knows what he wants. And is able to articulate that, but again, he's focused, but he's also patient and also understands, that everybody needs to come together and do the right thing, and has that respect, for all the members of the team in the band, which is a great way to go. And, we're all working for we're working for the kingdom. So, we all want to do our best, and man. We work together.
At the end of the day, it's not my band, and I don't see the light band as my band. It's our band. It's our team. We're here to serve, and one of the greatest things we can do is serve each other with our musicianship. As we support Annette, you know, in her ministry, and also a great friend of hers, Dee Shy, on the same platform as well. You know, I'm humbled, I have to say, and every time I remember that I have the role and the position, it's very humbling, to be honest. Yeah.
That is fantastic, Clive. Thank you so much. I'm sure that we've only just like touched the surface of an MD, and you know, from sort of rehearsals straight through to doing stuff live, and also kind of directing, and as you said, anticipating, you know, where things are going to go, and just knowing, feeling confident that the guys behind you are doing, you know, the right thing, and they're with you. You know, it must be a great thing. So thank you very much, and we wish you all the success in what you do. And I'm sure that, you know, throughout the years, we will hopefully people will know that we love doing what we do, and listen, man, it's for the kingdom, and you know, God be praised in all that we do, you know.
Yeah. Listen, everybody, thank you for tuning in. We hope that you've been blessed. Please, GX awards are taking place, and you can place your nomination. Go to GX Awards online, and we hope that you are truly blessed by these weekly programs. You know, God has been good, and this is a wonderful opportunity, a wonderful platform, and we hope to see it grow and grow. We may not be here all the time, but when we're not here, somebody else will be here going forward. But God bless you all, and thank you for your support. And thank you for tuning in. And please continue to support us on Behind the Music.
Thank you very much, and bye for now.
Goodbye. God bless you.